Hello, hello, hello. Exhale, breathe, family. How y'all doing today on this lovely Saturday? How y'all doing? It's your girl Shantae with Exhale, breathe, and you know, we're healing. Recap from last week. We talked about parenting. Talked about how, you know, parents that are no longer together, how one or both parents treat the children different, how that we need to have more stability and create more villages for our children to be better and safe and well rounded. Um, and that's what we talked about on last Saturday. Um, Today, we're going to get back to me. Okay, we're going to get back to me. And yeah, so um, I talk about a lot of things, mainly me and my healing, but it can be a bit heavy as I've stated before. And so I try to put some things on here that's not as heavy as the things that I've gone through, right? But we got to keep healing, and the only way that that's gonna happen is that we deal with things, we share things, we talk and deal with things, right? So I'm gonna go back to me. I think the last video that I made about me, I was talking about, just being in marriages that wasn't healthy for me, and that caused a lot of more trauma on top of the trauma that I experienced, early on in life. Um, so to get back on task, I became a mother early. 16 years old, became a mother, and a lot of things I had to learn, and it was a lot of things that I did not know, right? As a young mother, and I had already suffered a lot of trauma and abuse. And then when I found out I was pregnant, I did not know that my ex-husband had another child on the way, right before me. So it was just so much going on. Um, but as years went on, my life was strained, from when I got with my first husband. My He isolated me, and we talked about that. It took me a long time to rebuild relationships with my family. um my mom, I think, man, her relationship was the most important one that I needed to get back on track with, because that was my mom. um but we had men in our lives. Not only did I have a man in my life that interfered with our relationship, but she also had a man in her life that interfered with our relationship, and they were toxic, very toxic. um and going through so much trauma at a young age and not really having real outlets or ways to navigate them, you find yourself deeper and deeper and deeper in more trauma and more toxic relationships than you would have if you had healthy relationships, healthy boundaries, healthy, seeing things different. Not saying that two-parent households are all gravy, because they're not. Because for my oldest daughter, first 4 years of her life, it was a two-parent household, you know, even though she don't recall and know and remember the things that happened, I do. But I'm grateful that she doesn't remember, that she didn't, she don't have to have those memories and those moments playing in her ear um about what had transpired, right? And so um just having that was, a lot. Trying to learn where you fit, why you going through the things that you're going through. And it brings me to something I heard last night. A woman was like, um so why do I continue to attract these type of people, these type of men that wants to hurt me and harm me? And the response to from the person that she was talking to was, you haven't fully healed. You haven't fully healed. And I was just like, wow. Even though I've heard it before, it was still like a light bulb really went off at that moment. And that's why I'm here today, because I truly want to heal from my trauma, from my abuse, from my pain, so that I can attract better, healthier, you know, cuz when all you know is abuse and pain and heartache and toxicity, it's like it's like a cloud over you that says she accept that. She will deal with that. And I don't want that anymore. That's not what I want. So I said, okay, God told you how to heal. God told you what to do. It's time you do it. It's time you do it. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable, but you got to do it. So I'm here healing. I'm here walking in my healing, revealing, taking away the power that the enemy has had for so many years, for so many years over me, right? Because I didn't know. And I come from other a line of women that has been abused, which is called generational curses. Well, I'm here to break them. It stops with me. It's stopping with me. Okay, it's stopping with me. So that means if it's stopping with me, I have to reveal. I have to be open. I have to release so that I can exhale and so that I can breathe. So, with that, I got into my second marriage, right? Okay, we're going to go back a little bit. I end up finally getting divorced from my first marriage. And I was faithful for the time I was with him. And then when he went off to prison, I was celibate for almost 5 years. I think like 4 years and 8 months, somewhere up in there. But I still didn't date or go out until I actually filed for a divorce. I knew that I was getting a divorce. It wasn't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When I let him know that I was getting a divorce, oh my God. The How do you abuse somebody that's been there for you, that has taken care of you, that has suffered with you, that has cared for you, always been in your corner? I'm going to tell you, abusers, it doesn't matter what you do for them. I do not care. My dad, after all he did to me, when no one wanted to deal with him, he needed help, I stepped in. Even though it was uncomfortable, even though it was hard, even though part of me didn't want to, but he was my dad and he needed help and I did it. And don't you know that still didn't stop his abuse? It didn't stop. It don't stop their abuse. Matter of fact, I think it makes it worse, honestly, because they feel like you're going to always be there. No matter what they do, what they say. And my ex-husband cussed me out so bad. I just hung up the phone. Because I'm like, I don't even got to listen to this anymore. You know? Fast forward, dated, started dating, got pregnant. After 10 years from my last child, thought I was going to go crazy because that wasn't in my cards. uh, so I got a divorce in 2010. I got pregnant in 2011, and he came at the end of 2011. And yeah, it was rough because I ended up pregnant because I reverted back to what I knew. What I the behaviors that trauma put you in. So I was just like, I'm free again. I can do what I want to do. So I made the mistake again of thinking I can just do what I want to do. And that's what I did. Got pregnant. I cried for 3 months straight because I just could not believe it. And I remember telling my brother, baby mama, at the time, I remember telling her, well, I remember saying to myself and then telling her, if I don't tell nobody, then I just go get an abortion. I said that to myself. And then I was like, but if I tell somebody, I know I'm going to have to have it. And me and her was sitting in her living room one day and we were just talking and I slipped up and told her. And I was like, dang, even though I don't believe in abortions, especially when we make the decision to go out, have relations with people and have it. Now, it's exceptions to the rule. It is what it is. Everybody can't handle certain things, and I understand that. But if you're sleeping around, you messing around, you're freely laying around with people, and you get pregnant, have that baby because that's what it is. Period. So I knew if somebody found out, I was gonna have the baby, and that made me cry even harder. And but however, had him. It was tough. It was tough. But he's a blessing. He definitely a blessing. I always say he's a do-over kid, that I can do it over and, love on him a little bit different than I did the other ones. Not saying that I didn't do them well, because if they can tell you, they will say I did them really well too. I loved on them. I did the very best I could with what I had with them, the same with him. You know what I mean? So I'm doing what I can do. And so I went back to a former job that I was working at, met my second ex husband, really didn't like him or whatever. He grew on me, you know, and I never really dated no one at my job, like actually date them. So it was kind of awkward. Well, he ended up getting fired. So I didn't have, so now we don't work together. So now we can pursue whatever it was. Started dating. Like I said, his representative was A1. Like all the things that I told him that I desired in a mate and a partner, oh, he showed up. Like I never had a man to like send me flowers at my job or, just wine and dine me and just listen to me and love on me. And he did all the things, all the things, all the things. And then um my baby, he was like 6 months old when he came in my life, when my second ex-husband came into my life. And yeah, it was a challenge, right? He so my oldest nephew, my oldest nephew was in an accident, a swimming accident, and was in a coma. And we had planned a trip to Las Vegas for my birthday that year. And but I mean, we still ended up going, but my nephew got, had the accident, was in a coma. And of course, I went to the hospital, did, tried to, do my part. And I was going to not go. Um, but I asked my sister, I asked my mom, what do y'all need? What y'all want me to do? You know, they was like, go ahead and go, because it was just a few days. And if anything changed, we'll call you, we'll let you know. All that. I went to Las Vegas. The next morning, they called me and said that my nephew was gone. Devastated. Devastated I didn't follow my first mind just to stay. Devastated that, my sister and my mom had to be there, and go through that. I tried everything to get back. I couldn't. Tried to find a flight back, called the different places, couldn't. I was there. And I know most people were like, dang, she's so full of herself or whatever. But it wasn't that. But I felt like, am I being punished? Because I'm shacking up with this man and living with this man and all these things. And so I was just like, okay, we in Vegas. I know you can get married in Vegas the same day, literally. I'm going to get married. And guess what I did? Got married to a man that I wasn't even supposed to get married to. I wasn't supposed to marry him. He wasn't supposed to be my husband. I knew that. But I was trying to get it right because I felt like things were happening because I was doing wrong. And that ain't even how really God works. Like I was thinking. The way I was thinking, that ain't even how God works. But at that moment in time, I was like, I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna fix it. Let's get married. We can go ahead and get married because he had already asked me to marry. I'm like, okay, we heard it's cheap. Let's do it. Got married. After that, the real person showed up. Ooh, the real person showed up. The representative was now gone. the, the representative said I don't have to be here no more. I can go ahead and be me. And anybody that knows me knows my my children, the four that I gave birth to, I don't play about them. I don't care who you is. I if my mama was here, she'll tell you. If my granny was here, she would tell you. She don't play about her kids. And I love all them. I love them. But my kids are mine. I gave birth to them. So I will protect them against whomever, whenever is necessary. Trust and believe that. But he would do things to them when I wasn't around. If he's at home and they there, he'll pick at them, provoke them, and do things. And of course, I don't know who's telling the truth. I'm like, dang, it don't make sense. Finally found out it was him. Then he started doing stupid stuff, getting hurt on jobs so he don't have to go to work, just all kind of crazy stuff. And I was just like, what did I get myself into again? What is this? And he usually never talked crazy to me. Really, he would mess with my kids. But he started talking to me crazy. And one day he went off on me, called me everything but child of God. And my oldest son was standing there. I'm like, that's what we doing? And of course, sorry to say, yeah, I gave it back. Because what you're not going to do is handle me. It was bad. After we argued, he went to social media and started posting. And I hate that. I hate that. He went to social media, started posting. People started calling me, what's going on? And I'm like, what? My oldest son literally pulled him to the side and had a conversation with him and let him know that what he had done was unacceptable, right? After that, I knew it was time to let that go. It was time to let it go. He ended up in a situation. I helped him get out that situation. He got hurt. I nursed him to help back to health. Found out he had diabetes real bad. Didn't know. Had diabetes real bad. Almost went into a diabetic coma. Tried to help him with that. He wouldn't listen. All the things. What a wife is supposed to do for her husband. And finally, I just finally told him, this ain't working. I'm filing for divorce. I don't want to do this. I'm not being abused anymore. Not verbally, physically, and mental abuse by a man. I'm not doing that. And so I didn't want to. And once my kids hear and see things, it really throws the whole game off. It just, when you can disrespect me in front of them with no regard, it's time for us to do something different, because that's a problem. And then, like I said, he had already been fooling with them, so you already out of order. Told him we was gonna get a divorce. Of course, he didn't believe me. He like, whatever. He didn't take me serious. And then I went and got the papers and brought them back and said, hey, how we gonna do this? We was renting a house together. Both our names was on it. I was like, do we need to move out, or are you going to move out? How we're going to do it? You got the keys. You're going to, I can leave. It's easier for me. The day he was supposed to leave, we got out of church. He came to the house and acted a donkey. I ain't going nowhere. This is my house too. All the things. And I was just like, what? Well, I said, okay, so you're not leaving? All right. My mom had just moved into her apartment. I had just rented her U-Haul. to move into her apartment. I called her. I said, "Hey, let me know when y'all done with the U-Haul because I need to use it before we take it back." Okay, what's going on? I need to move my stuff into a storage. Less than 4 hours, 4 hours. I had help. My mama, her husband, my brother, my sister husband, my auntie, my former friend came to help because he was, you know, escalating. They all came to help me. We packed up that house less than 4 hours and moved all my stuff out to storage. When I went, my kids went to my mom's. I went to my mom's, and that's where we went. 3 weeks later, he called me, was like, I can't handle this house. Um, you and the kids can have it. I was so livid. But I was like, the only way I'm coming back, your name gotta come off the lease and you gotta go today. He said, okay. Called the landlord people. They removed his name and the divorce was in process and he went on and we moved back in. But I had to do all of that. You know how traumatizing that is for children? You know how hard that is? I had to move all of my stuff out, and everything in there was mine. Just to move it back 3 weeks later, waste of time, waste of money. But I wasn't finna sit in there and be abused or allow my kids to be abused or witness the abuse. So, you know, and he wasn't happy. I was the worst wife. You know, he was still posting that I was the worst wife and all the things. And no clap back, no, because at the end of the day, okay, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. I can't change how you feel. And then 5 years later, I'm in a whole nother relationship and you're reaching out to that that man, messing with him, talking to him, like, grow up. I don't know what's up with this. Grow up. Texting me, calling me, messaging me. Look, leave me alone. Go on. It's done. I think it was around the 5 year mark after I divorced too. So I don't know if he was sitting around thinking about it or whatever, but he was, yeah. So I've endured a lot. And I'm grateful today because I used to question God a lot. Like, why did you allow this to go on? Why did you allow me to go through so much? But I know now it's to help someone else. I know it's to help, especially women, young, old, whoever, out of situations that they feel like they can't get out of. And I love it. I love it. If I can just help without certain things, I would. But I'm following what God initially told me to do. And that's, I'm going to share my story in hopes that it helps somebody, it heals somebody, it strengthens somebody, it motivates and encourages somebody. Understand that you're not alone. Understand if you're in a situation that is unhealthy, is abusive, reach out to somebody. Tell someone. You never know who may help. Like I said, 7 people showed up just like that, because he was escalating, because he was angry. It could have turned bad, but because I stepped out and said, I need help. Can someone come? Because I don't want this situation to go any further than it already has. I need to get out of this. I need my children out of this. Please come help us. It was done, and it saved everybody. We got to learn to ask for help, ladies. We got to quit being so ashamed and embarrassed. I know it can be. I've been very ashamed. I've been very embarrassed at a lot of the trauma and abuse that I've been through. Trust me, I have. But it only allowed me to stay in it longer. It only allowed for that person to continue the abuse. And it only made me feel worse about myself. And it took longer to get to this point of healing. So reach out, ask for help. It's okay. Someone will help, someone will listen. Try it. If you're in a situation, hit me up. Send me a message. Let me know. I come help, because we got to start looking out for each other. We got to quit being silent. We got to start addressing the abuse. Otherwise, more people will become unalived because of it. Because ain't nobody speaking out. No one knows that you're suffering. No one knows that you're in so much pain. No one knows that you're hurting so bad. No one knew. I carried it so well. I carried it so well. Still carry it well. Still carry it well. But I'm releasing now. I'm releasing now. And it feels good. It feels good. I've been doing this now for a year, y'all. I've made it a year. I am so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself because it took me 30 years to get to this point. And now that I'm here, hey, we're going to heal. We're going to get it together one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, one story at a time. We're going to heal together. So, with that being said, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, leave questions. If you need help, reach out. Is help available? I love you all. Thank you for joining in. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I love you all. I see y'all on next Saturday. Y'all be blessed. Bye for now. Ooh.